Welcome back to Film Snob HQ. We are on the road to Doomsday still. We are in the fourth phase of the MCU, the fifth era of Marvel content. And we are now looking at some MCU TV shows. We had WandaVision last time, the 9-part series, which is all about grief and love and loss and all sorts of wonderful things. Next up is a series that I believe is one of the strongest shows they've done. It's really great. It's a 6-part series. And it's so good, I think it could have been the next movie in this franchise as well, but that's okay. I'll take a TV show. I am, of course, talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So this picks up not long after Endgame. Cap has retired. He's handed the shield over to Falcon. And the show kind of starts off following the stories of both Falcon and the Winter Soldier separately. Falcon is now back at home. He's with his sister. He is still working for the government. And doing some ops and stuff like that as the Falcon, but also just trying to get back to a normal life. And he's dealing with all sorts of kind of weird problems that I guess we didn't anticipate coming. So, for example, he wants to get a loan to help cover some financial difficulty, but because he hasn't had an income for 5 years, they won't approve it. But he wasn't here for 5 years because he was snapped away. It's really interesting, kind of the depths they go into with this one. On the other side of the world, the Winter Soldier is in therapy. He's trying to recover. He is haunted by dreams of the people he killed and he feels guilty about, and he's trying to be a better man. Very early on in the first episode, Falcon returns the shield to the Smithsonian, claiming that it's not his to carry. He shouldn't be the new Captain America. So the government creates their own new Captain America in the form of John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell, who's really great in the role. His arc in this in particular is really, really strong. Starts off being kind of like this nerdy kind of Captain America wannabe, keeps saying that he's not Steve Rogers, but really obviously wants to be him, and then becomes something of an antagonist and a villain, and then does get a little bit of a shot at redemption by the end, and then is set up to be US agent moving forward, who we wouldn't see for a few years, but he does show up in the Thunderbolts. We also get introduced to some other characters. We have some Wakandans show up. The Dora Milaje make an appearance in the show. Baron Zemo returns. We last saw Zemo in Civil War. He's now back, and he gets to have a lot more fun in this series because he's not the prime antagonist. He's got some intel that Falcon and the Winter Soldier need to borrow. They need to learn from him, and so he's kind of toying with him. And the chemistry is incredible. It's so much fun. Like, I know he's a bad guy and he does bad things, but I just want Zemo and everything. I think he's wonderful. Our primary antagonists for this storyline are the Flag Smashers, led by a character named Karli Morgenthau. And I will say she is incredibly frustrating. And I'm not saying that about the actress. The character is a really frustrating villain, and for all the right reasons. She's an idealist. She is anti-government, and she wants to kind of tear everything down because while the snap had happened, and during the 5 years where everyone was snapped away, she and a lot of people like-minded to her believed the world got better and there were more resources. Sure, so they agreed with Thanos, ostensibly. And since everyone came back, those people who had finally kind of got, a decent kind of quality of life were now shoved back into the shadows. So she wants to tear down the government. The problem with Karli Morgenthau is that she's an idealist who's unwilling to compromise or have conversations, and that makes her petulant. So she's a very frustrating character to watch. She gets quite annoying at times, but I believe that is the purpose of the character. I don't think she's accidentally annoying. Like, she's deliberately so. You're not meant to like her. You're meant to kind of relate to her cause, but ultimately feel like she is a villain because she's so unwilling to compromise, so unwilling to bend. So yeah, I do think this could have been a movie and maybe should have been a movie. I would have liked Captain America 4 being about the struggle for the shield and kind of the introduction of US Agent. It probably would have helped lead into the Thunderbolts better, because I do think a lot of general audiences aren't watching the shows. And that Thunderbolts movie came way too late. I feel like Thunderbolts should have been like the Avengers film of Phase 4, but that's for another conversation. But all in all, it's an excellent show. We're also introduced to Isaiah Bradley, the African-American Captain America, who was forgotten in time and was kind of locked away, incarcerated by the government, and experimented on all sorts of horrible things. So we're introduced to him, and he'll pop up in a Captain America film later. And one of the best things about this show, obviously, it's action-packed. The action's really great. But there's this beautiful moment at the end where Falcon assumes the mantle of Captain America. He looks just like he does in the comics with the blue and white suit and the wings. He has this amazing, incredible speech, like the Do Better speech. If you've watched the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just wonderful, and Anthony Mackie just nails it. So this is a really great series, definitely worth your time. It was my second time watching it, and I loved every minute of it. In terms of returning characters, we're also introduced, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who's kind of like the anti Nick Fury. She is makes her first appearance here. She's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and kind of sets up the fact that she's kind of assembling her own team, but she's not a good character. You can tell she's a bad guy. And she's going to show up a lot more later, as you'll see. So in terms of returning characters for Doomsday and Secret War, I think your US Agent is going to be in there. We've kind of seen that teased through other movies. Zemo, I don't know whether he would have a reason to be in it, because he's not the Zemo from the comics. Zemo from the comics, he's got the Masters of Evil and the Thunderbolts and stuff like that, and he's very much like a mustache-twirling villain. He's not that in this, so he's more of got a political agenda. He's very anti-super soldier and stuff like that, so I don't know whether there'd be reason for him to show up in Doomsday or Secret Wars, but I'd love more Daniel Bruhl. Agent 13, the new Agent Carter, if you will, Emily Van Camp, she returned in this as well. She's now someone called the Power Broker, which we haven't explored since this show, so I'm hoping we get more of that, but I don't think Doomsday and Secret War are the place to do it. Val, I imagine, will show up at some point because the Thunderbolts are going to be in Doomsday. And Isaiah Bradley, I don't know whether we'll get him again. He kind of had more of a storyline in Brave New World, and I don't know whether they're going to keep playing with that or if they're kind of done with it. But that's it. Next up is Season 1 of Loki.